Between February 2018 and March 2019, there were 22 violations against journalists, 1 by organised groups, 7 by political parties, 8 by individuals and 6 by security agents. At the stakeholders meeting ahead of World Press Freedom Day, Ambassador Francis Chiga of CDD was unhappy assaults on journalists were becoming very common.
In most instances, the assailants and intimidators go unpunished. What Ghanaian journalists now face is a culture of impunity that protects their abusers and leaves them vulnerable to attacks. The fact is that nobody has been prosecuted and punished till date in any of the assaults against journalists. The fact that nobody has been prosecuted and punished till date in any of the assaults against journalists says a lot about the state of affairs. It is also the case that a number of these assailants are agents of the state or political party leaders. It is important to note that in limited cases, we have also seen threats and intimidations from private citizens, for example, in the men's school saga. It is therefore not surprising that, though in 2018 Ghana ranked and was placed 23rd in the world, an Africa's highest ranked country, following these increasing attacks on journalists and the murder of an investigative reporter, Ghana has fallen 4 places in 2019.
Yes, there may be real and inherent dangers associated with the pen profession, but how can journalists be protected while on the job? Director General of Public Affairs, ACP David Eklu, says the police service is revising its training school syllabus to include police media relations in the training manual.
We are saying that there's no law which forbids a member of the public or a journalist from filming a police officer who is performing a public function. There's no law. And it is wrong for the police to seize your phone without a court order. It is wrong for the police to assess the contents of your phone without going through legal processes. So we are advising that journalists who may be filming a police officer should clearly identify themselves and mention the media house. If the police officer thinks that what you are filming may jeopardize the work that he or she is doing, she can call on the police public affairs officer who would have a discussion with the news editor in that media house so that those issues can be resolved. But let us avoid this physical confrontation while the journalist is doing his or her work and the police officer is also performing a public function.
President of the GJA, Afil Moni, disclosed the body is looking at organising refresher training sessions for journalists on how to appropriately behave and protect themselves while working.
Please learn to be ethically responsible and professionally impeccable at all times. Journalists must also internalize and reflect basic guidelines on safety. Your safety should come first before the news. Also listen to your conscience and avoid areas which will imperil your lives or endanger your safety.
But is it purely a question of police ignorance? ACP Eklu doesn't think so, claiming this will all be rectified by the introduction of police media relations training. Professor Kwame Karikari of Media Foundation for West Africa encouraged journalists to report abuses against them.
An area that we still have not been able to address very satisfactorily is the responsibilities of owners of media institutions. There are many media houses in this country who don't care a hoot.
World Press Freedom Day 2019 is slated for Friday, May 3. The event will provide a platform for multiple actors to exchange ideas on current issues, threats, and achievements concerning freedom of the press.